Hello students, I am Dr. Sanjeev Ponia. Till today, in computer architecture, we discuss about instruction codes, about registers, instructions, management of registers, transfer of data between the registers, timing and control signals, as well as instruction cycle. And in last class we also discuss about memory and register reference instructions, that how we can take the content from memory and store that in registers, as well as the take the content of register and we will store in memory. So we discuss about the components, that's the processor, memory. We discuss about the memory size, that is 4096 words. Discuss the word length, that is 16 bits. Then we discuss about the instruction code that contains opcode, address, as well as addressing modes. Addressing modes are of two types: direct addressing mode and indirect addressing modes. Then we discuss type of registers in ALU, size of registers, then interconnections of registers, selections of registers, then instructions format about the memory reference, register reference, and input output reference, then different codes for the different operations. Then we discuss about the instruction set, that is functional instructions, transfer instruction, control instructions, and input output instructions. We discuss about the control unit also, that how we can generate the signals and how the operations can be controlled. In this we discuss about the hardwired control. In hardwired control we discuss that how we can perform the different operations on the machine. And we discuss, this is the most important also, that what's the execution cycle of the instructions. This is fetch, decode, read, and execute. And this is a loop cycle, means after completion of one cycle, it will start the second cycle. Then we discuss about the timing and control, that how the data is going to be transferred with respect to timings. Then we discuss that how it is going to discuss that the data have to be read or written from the memory or from the registers, and the mode of the addressing, that is direct or indirect mode. Then we discuss about the reference register instructions, details of that how we can represent that. Then transfer of data with instructions as well as with timing signals. Then this is the routine. Then we discuss about the summary of the memory reference instructions. Now from today onwards we will discuss about the input output instructions. As name suggests, input and output instructions means instructions those are concerned with input or output. Means we have to study instructions based on the input or output, that how the values of input and output is going to be transferred in arithmetic logic unit. So we know that INPR, this is represent input register and of 8-bit long. This is OUTPR. So this is output register. This is also of 8-bit. This is input flag. FGI means flag, FG means flag, and I represent input flag. This is output flag, and IEN represent interrupt flag. Interrupt. So if this is high, if interrupt is high, it means there is some problem in the circuit, or it want to transfer the control from one place to another place. As we know that the speed of the processor is very fast, but when we are discussing about the input and output devices, then they transfer the data in serial form. So this is a very big problem, that the computer or processor works as in high speed, whereas the output and input device produce the serial data. If a computer want to connect between input and output, or want to send data or receive data from the input or output, then it has to be wait a long time. Then what happens? It takes the data from an input device and store that data somewhere, that is called input register. That is called input register. And same when system, computer, or arithmetic logic unit want to send some data to output, then it sends data to output register, OUT, are output registers, and these are two flags. Flag O, that is output flag, and this is flag input. But one thing, that how the computer is came to know, processor came to know that now I have to take the data from the input, or I have to send the data to the input, or how the processor is going to switch from one process to another process. So input and output communicate serially. Flares are synchronized, input and output. Okay, we discuss about these two flares also. So there will be a signal, that is interrupt signal. The things will depend on this. When there is an interrupt, then the operation is going to be changed. We will discuss and we will see that how it happens. So we were discussing about the CPU, that what happens inside CPU when data has to come from input device, or data has to send to input device. Initially, when system has to take the input or data from the keyboard or input devices, then FGI FGI is set to be 1, means initially input flags set to be 1 if we want to send the data, or you can say that initially both the flags, flag for input instructions and flag for output instructions, are set to be 0. So every time these two flares, have to be checked that there these are enabled or disabled. If these are enabled means we have to take the data or we have to send the data. If we have to receive the data from the input means input register, the data from input registers have to be transferred to accumulator. And in the same case, when we have to send the data to the output device, then the data from the accumulator is to send to output device. This happens in case of input and output. So initially what happens, this is FGI means flare for input is equals to 0. Flare for input is equals to 0. So it should be 1. It should be 1 if we want to send the data or we want to input the data. So it is 1. Always in every cycle it's going to check that this is 0 or this is 1. If this is 0, no need to take the data because there is no data in INPR or INPR means input register do not want to send any data. But if is 1, the value of input flag is 1. In that case, the data from the input registers is sent to be accumulator, and then after receiving the data, after picking the data from the input register, it again loops in the same manner, means to check the value of input flag, as well as in the output flag also. The value of output flag initially is, so you can say from here that it's check the value of flag, output flag, if this is equals to 0. If this is equals to 0 means no need to take the, no need to send the data. And if this is equals to 0 means accumulator want to send to data. Sorry, if this is equals to 1, it means then processor or accumulator want to send the data to out register. So the content of AR accumulator is going to be sent to output register. Then again flag, output flag is sent, is set, and this process is going to be repeat. So this is the procedure by which arithmetic logic unit sends or receive the data from the input or output device. So initially the value of input registers and the value of output registers are 0, but when it has to be checked that the value of flag, input flag and output flag is 0 or 1, when the value of output and input flag is 1, it means there is a transfer between control unit and input unit or output unit. We discuss about this D0, D1, D3. So when we are saying that this is D7 means operation corresponding to D7, operation corresponding to D7, and this is T3. It means the operation is going to happen at, time t3 or at pulse t3, and this is I for direct mode or indirect mode. So suppose we are saying this complete operation p, suppose we are saying this complete operation P, then to write these things in the brief, we say that D7 IT3 equals to P. So when I am taking IR means instructions register to BI. So suppose I am writing this P. It means that D7 data at T3, data at time T3 in D7 is 0 and the counter is also as 0. Then when there is a input or output information, if there is input operation, then FGI is initially 0. If it is 1, data is going to be sent to SKI, means input flag. And if IEN means enabled, if we say or system came to know that interrupt is 1, means there is some problem, you have to leave this work whatever you are doing and you have to perform some other work. Means either you have to send the value to the output or you have to receive the input value. So this is IOF, means interrupt off. And when we are saying this, that is interrupt is enable on. Interrupt is on and interrupt is off. This is skip on output flag, skip off input flag, and this is for input and output registers. You can say initially input and output is at 00, means input flag 0, output flag 0, and when input flag is 1, then the value is going to be transferred. When output flag is 1, then the value of going to be transferred. So this happens in the case of input and output case. Means there are flags, the values of the flags are set to be 1. So as I told that CPU speed is very fast and input output devices works in serial way. So what happens? It degrades the performance of the computer. So in this case, we transfer the data from the input serially and put that data to input register. And loop till when we get all the data. Same, we will load the data. And after loading the data, we send it serially to the output device. Here we are taking the data. Here we are taking or receiving the data at input through input devices. Here we are sending the data to output device. So this is happen, means we have to run a loop every time to receive or to send the data, so that the speed of the processor can be maintained. We discussed this enabled CPU. Yes, when the input output interface, not CPU, monitor the input output devices, means there is input output interfaces. Those tells that we have to receive the data or we have to send the data. The CPU is not directly connected to input output devices. When the interface has to send or receive the data, then there will be a interrupt, there will be a interrupt control, and it sends the signals to the CPU to transfer the data. So at that time CPU stops and switch momentarily to process the input output data and then return back, and this is happen by the input enabled flip flop, and after completing the operation it's again set to 0. Then this is the same thing. I try to show this thing through a arrow. So in this flowchart, this is the interrupt, this is the interrupt bit. Here there can be two values, either 0 or 1. 1 means interrupt is active, or active interrupt means there is some data that has to be sent to CPU. So it will check that there is a interrupt or not. If there is a interrupt means if it is active, means if it want to send some data to the CPU, then store return address means जो CPU है, CPU stores the data, CPU stores the address somewhere temporarily, and it is storing the data in memory at location 0 over here. We can store the data anywhere in the memory. We have to specify or we have to give the address of memory in that case. Then branch to location 1 and put the value of program counter 1, means how much bits of data input device has to transfer, that is controlled by or checked by PC. At initial time, at first time it is 1, then interrupt is set to be 0. Interrupt is set to be 0, and input register is also set to be 0 after transferring the data from the input device. If it is not want to send data from input devices to CPU, then the value of this will be 0. If the value of this is 0, means it will perform the operation. CPU will perform the operation as per the requirement. So every time input output registers is going to be checked, but that's not checked by the CPU. There is an interface, that is interrupt flip flop between the input output devices and the CPU. If data has to be transferred, then there is a interrupt is enabled. So this is instruction cycle. We discussed this in the last slide, that this is when there is an interrupt. So before the interrupt, this is address 0. If there is interrupt, then the address that is program counter, that is in program counter is set to be is temporary put it here 256 at address 0. We can change this address anywhere, and it's take the input output program, take the input output program, and this is one shows that this is indirect operation. This is indirect operation. Again, when it comes on the operation, then it's change the value. From here, it will be more clear, and fetch and decode phase of the instruction cycle modified. See, replace T0, T1 and T2 with R dash T0, R dash T1 and R dash T2. R dash means register, dash means 0. So we are putting the value of registers R0 at time T1, R0 at time T1 at time T2, the value of R is also 0. So at interrupt cycle 0, we are putting the address value 0 in AR and transferring the value of PC into temporary register. Then in the same way, we choose the data from the input and or sends the data to the output device. These are the different instructions for them. Now this is the detailed flowchart. This is the detailed flowchart of this one, that how the data is going to be transferred between CPU, checks for the interrupt that there is an interrupt or not. If there is an interrupt, means data has to be transferred, and again it will going to check for the memory and registers. This one we done earlier. Here we are adding to show the complete operation. So this is also we have done earlier. These are the explanation. These are the explanation of that what happens at this time. For an example, this is written over here that when I was telling you about the, yes, this one, when I was telling you about T0, T1 and T2 with R0, this is R is 1, R is 1, so R0, R bar is 0. So this is 0 with T0, and this is 0 with T1, and this is 0 with T2. This is R means value of R is 1. So at time T0, at time T1, at time T2. So you can see these complete operations over here. This is 0 T1, this is 0 T1, this is 0 T2. Means when the value of R is 0, that at time T0, the value of PC, that is program counter, is going to be transferred to address register. Then at time T1, the memory content at location AR is going to be transferred to instructions register, and the value of program counter is going to increment by 1. So this is the about the AND, add, LDA. This is the combinations of all these that what we have studied, means complete descriptions over here. This is also the same about the clear, complement, circular right, circular left, increment, hold. This is input, output, like this. These are the a set of complete operations. Now we will discuss about the design of ALU, how we can design the arithmetic logic unit. This is very important topic, so pay attention over here. I am confident that if you try to understand the last whatever we study about the registers, about the operations, about the selection lines, about the timing and control, then it will be easy for us to understand the things, that how the things are happening. As I will tell you here that we discuss about the memory here earlier. So this is the thing we are saying, that the size of the memory is 4096 and width of a word is 16. So this is the thing that we discussed earlier. So register, we discuss address register, we discuss program counter, data register, accumulator, instructions register, temporary register, output register, input registers. So we discussed all these earlier. We discussed about the flip-flop, we discuss about the interrupt, we discuss about R means set or reset, set or reset. We know about the decoder also, we know about the encoders also. This is for the timing signals. This is a common bus. We study that how the data is going to be transferred through the bus, and we discuss about the address and how the operations of the adder and the logical operations are going to be performed. So we know about all these. So it will be really easy if you will try to understand. We discuss this also. So we are going to implement only those things. Now we will see that how we can implement those things to design an ALU. So we know the input controls means input registers. We know 9 input registers. You can see again in the behind. See, these are the input register 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the input registers. We read and write control. We know that there are two controls in the memory, one for the read and second to write in the memory. Set, clear and complement controls, S2, S1 and S0 controls to select the register, accumulator and adder and logic. So this is the thing that we study completely. Now we will try to combine these things, that how we can implement this. Now from here, if we will say that these are load, increment and clear. Load, increment and clear. So these are three operations. Initially, if we will go in on the really very first slide, you can see from there that when we are trying to discuss about the connections between the registers, then it will be easy. Let me come on the that slide. Yes, over here you can see in these all registers there are three control signals. First one is load, second is increment, and third one is clear. So this is the thing we are discussing over there. We I was telling about write and read. We will discuss about the bus, common bus also. We will discuss that whatever is going to happen inside ALU or what is about the E bit. So this is the thing that we are going to implement. So I told you that if the concept are clear, then it will be really easy for us to understand that how we can design the processor. So design of ALU, now S1 S0. So from here, see R T0, R bar T0. R bar means we know that R is a register where the value of this is initially 1, initially set to 1. So when I am saying R bar means time 0. This is 0 with time t0. With time t0 means there should be two conditions t0. There should be two conditions fulfilled at the same time, means we will check the value of register R and we will at time t0. If the value in register R is 0, then at time t0 the value of PC, that is content of program counter, is going to be transferred to AR, that is address register. You can see from here we are going to LD, means load register AR, load register AR at R is equals to 0 and T2 is high, T2 is high, then we can say that instructions from the register IR from 0 to 11, because we know that the instructions are this is when 16-bit number, so this is the for the addressing mode, these 3 bits for the opcode, and these 11 bits, 12 bits are for the address. So I will try to clear it from the diagram also. When R is 0, so check from here, this R is 1 initially. So when R is 0, the R is 0 here. The R is 0 here. Here it is 0. So when this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and only these two. Only these two. So when R is 0, so this is 0. This is T0, means when these two, this one is high and this one is high, then this gate will work. This gate will work means it will load, it will LD, it will load. It is going to load the content of PC, that is program counter, to AR. It is load the content. This is bus from where the content is coming. When this is active, this will load the content to AR, bus content to AR. Now second, when this is 0, and T2, this is T2, this is active, and this is 0, means this is active. When this is active, then this is going to load, the AR into So this is going to load the content. This is load to drawing the content AR. From D7, okay, we will see this one, D5. No, we will try to check this. This is RT0. RT0. RT0 means R is equals to 1. R is equals to 1 and T is equals to 0. T is equals to 0, this one. T is equals to 0, this one, and R is, so R is 1 over here and T is 0 over here, means this gate will work. This gate will work, and this is for the clear. So it will clear the AR. It will clear the AR. When this is DT3, when this is DT4, yes, this is D, this is D. So when it is DT4, D is this, D is this, T4 is this, so it will work as an increment. So it is increasing over here. So if we want to perform this, then we can write the load operation, because these three are the for load, these three are the for load. So load operation, so how we can load in AR? So we can write this, or we can write this, or we can write this. Means by these three, by this one, by this one, and by this one, the address register is going to be load. And by these two timing controls, T0 and the value of R, the AR is going to be either increment or it's going to be clear. So this is about the, this was about the data transfer, means how we can transfer the data in the address register. Now we will discuss about the input flare, that how the value of input flare becomes 0 and 1. IEN is known as interrupt flag. IEN is known as interrupt flag. Initially, the value of this is 1. Initially, the value of this is value of this is initially 0, means there is no interrupt. When there is an interrupt, when there is an interrupt, means when the value, that is IEN P, when this is 1, when this is 1, means there is a interrupt. So this is 1B7. 1B7 means it shows, means there is a interrupt. There is a interrupt. Because B7 is 1 at this time, P is 1 at this time, means it shows that there is a interrupt. At 0 means this is B6. This is B6. And interrupt is 0, means here the value is 0. So it will work as 0, means that it will not work. And when this is IEN equals to 0, means this is equals to 0, and T2 is also 0. T2 is also 0, means it will not work. Means it will work only in the case when this circuit, is working, when the value of P is 1 over here and the value of B7 is also 1. So this is the about the interrupt flag. that how the interrupt flag works. Now, register selections. We discussed about this earlier also, that how we are going to select the register. These based on the values of S0, S1 and S2. S0, S1 and S2. So means when it is 0, 0, 0, this is over here. This is S2, this is S1 and this is S0. So at that time also I told you that when it is 0, 0, 0, we are not using this at this time. We are not using this at this time. For 7 we have to access the memory. For 6 we have to access the temporary registers. So this is the selections line. We saw the selections line over there. So the transfer of data from the accumulator depends that how we have to transfer the data based on which register and what's the data of that register should be. That's depend on the memory location or the value at the data register. So this was for the register selections. Now connection with the accumulator, that how we can make the connection with the accumulator to get the required output. See, these are the collection of gates, those we study. From the collections of gate, we see that there are 3 lines we can get, that is load, increment and clear. We will go in the back. You will check from here. What I did, I put this complete. I put this complete one in a box. And I am saying that this is a control. From here, there are 3 lines, load, increment and clear. This is the same thing we are doing here, here in the last slide. Yes, here. So this is the control. We made this control by the logic gates. We know how we can make that. So these are 3 controls: load, increment and clear. A clock is applied because without clock there is no operation. So clock is applied to accumulator. This is the data that is coming from the input registers. This is data that is coming from the input register, or it will go to output register, or it will go to output register. This is data register, 16-bit data registers, or this is a bus. This is a bus that controls the data from the memory, that which data has to be taken from the memory. And this is the adder and logic circuit. We discuss about this circuit many times. So when it is D0 T5, D0 T5 means then data in accumulator is going to be AND with DR, that is data register. So this is the thing that we discuss already. This is the complete diagram of the last one. In last diagram, we did not see about this circuit. We did not see about this circuit. So I will try to clear this, that it will be more clear to you from this diagram. So these are lines for the increment and the clear. This is the clock we discuss. This is the output bus. This is the input logic. Only in case of load, only in case of load, from where what we have to load, it will be a AND. We have to load a data after the AND operation. We have to load a data after the add operation, after increment, after complement, after shift right, shift left, and this is that we have to clear the register, or we have to increase the value or increment the value in the accumulator. This is happen in case of, this is the complete circuit for that, and this is the logic, arithmetic logic unit. This, it shows the one complete cycle, that what happens and how it happens inside the logic unit in one cycle. So from here you can see from the last slide that these are the operations we discussed, that this is AND, add, this is AND, add. In the next slide also you will see AND, add, then DR and IPR, then these are DR, data register, and INPR, input register. Next, complement. Next we will see that this is complement, this is shift right, and this is shift left. This is shift right and this is shift left. This is for increment and this is for clear. These two are different lines. So this is for load operation. It shows that the data has to be loaded. This is used for the data register. It happens in the accumulator, that what we have to do in the accumulator. This is the data for the accumulator. So this is input from the input devices. This is the logic device in which the operations are going to be performed. So at one time either this will be worked or this will be worked. We studied the function of JK flip-flop, that at a time we get Q at one output, and on another output we will get Q bar. Means both the outputs are complementary at each and every time. And when the value of J is 1 means it's set, and the when value of J is 0 and K is 1 means then at that time it's reset. So it's all about the first unit. Let me check that what we discuss in this lecture in the first unit. So we start from the basic computer organization and design. Before this, we discuss about the first part of first unit. This is the second part of first unit. In first part, we discuss about the register transfer language, register transfers, bus and memory transfers, arithmetic microoperations, logic microoperations, shift microoperations, and arithmetic logic unit. This is the second part of first unit. In this, we discuss about the instructions code, computer registers, computer instructions, timing and control signals, instruction cycle, memory and register reference instructions, input and output instructions with interrupts, that how a interrupt can control input and output operations. Then in last we discuss that how we can design a logic circuits. So here this is, we study about the basic computer that is designed by Maurice Manon near about by 25 years ago. There are two components, CPU and RAM. There are three parts of the instruction code, that is opcode, address and addressing modes, direct addressing modes, indirect addressing modes. Then we discuss about the registers, the size of the registers. We discuss the connections of the registers. We discuss here the selections of the registers and the control units. Then we discuss that how we can select the different type of registers. Then instruction format, three type of instructions format: memory reference, register reference and input output reference. Then we studied about the codes. Then we study about the instruction sets: functional, transfer, control and input output instructions. Then we discuss the design of the control unit, that how we can design the control units. Then we discuss about the execution cycle: fetch, decode, read and execute. Later we discuss about the timing and controls, that how the data is going to be changed with respect to clock cycle. Then how the data is going to transfer between the memory and the ALU. This was about the execution of the data. This was about the execution of the data from the memory, that it is a register in register or input output operation, or this is a memory reference operation. And after this we discuss over here that this is a direct mode or this is a register mode. Over here we discuss that this is a indirect addressing mode in the memory, or this is a direct addressing modes in the memory. Here we decide that this is for the input output or this is for the register. Here we saw different instructions, that is clear, complement, circular. Then we discuss the detailed, that how the data selects the registers and how the different operations are going to be select different type of registers. Then we discuss these machine instructions in detail over here. Then we summarize the memory reference instructions. We discuss about the input output instructions with the flare synchronization. We discuss that how the data is going to be flow when we have to receive the input or have to be sent the output. Then input output instructions, what can be input and output instructions and what happens. Then input output interfaces, we discuss that what happens when, if there is an interrupt, means interrupt cycle. Then we discuss that in detail we discuss all the operations over here in detail, step by step, and in the last we discuss about the design of arithmetic logic unit. This is about the register selection, how we can select the register. This is about the connection with the accumulator, that how the connection with the accumulator is performed. These are the different operations, that how we can load the different operations in the accumulator, that is and add. And thank you for today. In the next class we will discuss about unit 2, that's the control unit design. So we will study about the designing of control unit in next lecture. Thank you.